Jay Skinner, and you're on the pre-show for the Buyers and Sellers Show. Give everybody a chance to get on. We're on every Friday morning. (10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then this lives on in YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, so you can watch these all along. Hey. And we're live. Welcome everyone to the Buyers and Sellers Show here. And I'm live in Westfield, Indiana, which is just on the north side of Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. We have people from all over the world get on board and enjoy this show. And I hope that you're going to be one of them. So today, what are we talking about? This is a relaxed, interesting day to talk about this topic this week, which for me involved trade show, prototypes, digital marketing work with two different big, giant, gazillion $1 million digital marketing firms. And at the same time, if you want to jump in, this is a good time for you to jump in to talk about what's going on with your week. What'd you do? What'd you learn? And what actions are going to come as a result of it with you? And that's worth a shot at least, huh? What did you do? What did you learn? And what action will come as a result of it? And here's the code, the way I'm writing it here. It's like this. D is what you did. L is what you learned. A is what action or future action will come as a result of your D and L. So you can just jump right in, join, and write a comment and say, here's my D, here's my L, here's my A. And I'll do a few. If we have some, great. If we don't, I understand. I just want to get this idea out here that maybe it will be beneficial to you. When you go after something and you do something, you're trying to be excellent at it. Let me do. I want to turn this thing off so it doesn't get on me. There we go. We all think we're really good at whatever it is we do, myself included. We also know and understand and believe that we could get better. And that's what this is about. I remember years ago, and probably still exists when people are talking about sales and selling and process. It's like you got an idea, you make a proposal to someone, you go to the next step and you develop that idea and you have conversation and then you agree to do it and then you do it and then you're back up to the top of the circle. And it's a continual circle. I used to say, well, if you want to accuse me of going around in circles, then you're probably right. Because it's like, got the idea, get the program, agree to do it, have a conversation about it, everybody agree, implement a plan of action based upon our priorities and things we did back here to decide what we were going to do next, and then review and update, get an idea, do it again, do it again, do it again. So this is part of that. What'd you do? What'd you learn? What's your action going to be going forward to be better at it? Or in some cases, you're going to go, just keep doing the same thing, man. I got this one down. Okay, so let's look at one. Has to do with me this week. I attended one day at the ProMat 2023 show in Chicago, a big international material handling show. And I came prepared with this giant list of brand partners for packaging systems, where I'm marketing director, and as a CEO extender, that's what I do working for them. And there were 10 that I could identify were actually had booths and were attending the show as exhibitors of our brand partners. These are people that we work with, and we match them to our customers to buy equipment. And so as we're looking at that, and this will be a good picture, because those of you that have been to these trade shows, you'll appreciate this. Let me show you. The day of great trade shows may be back. Look at that. Look at this. Beautiful. Is that great? Now look behind me. Look at all the people. I'll take this banner off here. There we go. And when we were headed out and the show was over at 5 o'clock in Chicago, I was at McCormick Place. Just look at the crowd exiting here. It's like, this is huge. This is huge. And we haven't seen crowds like this in ages. Look at that. It was wonderful. And walking the aisles of the show was like everywhere. There was a buzz. There were lots of people, good stuff happening. And they had both sides of the McCormick Place on, those of you who know it, it's on both sides of Michigan Lakeshore Avenue. The lake side was not full. This was the other side, both sides of North and South Hall. Huge. Tons of exhibitors. Tons of people coming. Oh, looks like we have a comment here. Let's see what we got. Georgie Kukuvikov. He says D. He spoke with a business exit strategist. L. He learned what the owners would want. And A. He's creating a list of values for the owners. Cool, Georgie. Thanks for sharing. Here, I'm going to put that right up there so we can see it. D. Spoke with a business exit strategist. L. What the owners learned what the owners would want. A. Creating a list of values for the owners. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. So let's look at what happened here. I did the show. Then what I learned was I need to take a second day for unplanned visits and exploration, or I need to shorten my list, because this is a long list. This is the list of people that had booths there. And I started visiting these people. And I also had two situations where, with the owner of Packaging Systems and I were going to, we had meetings scheduled, which elongated things. When I walked up to the last customer potential visit, they were putting stuff up. I didn't even realize that it was like 4:49 and the show was about over for the day. I got a minute, got a brochure, talked to him, passed out some cards, and away I go. So what am I going to do next time? I'm going to either reduce my goals from 10 to 5 planned visits, or I'm going to stay 2 days. That's the idea. Okay, that's an example of me. Let's see if we got somebody here. Let's see. Tanner's saying, hi, Jay. Trade shows always is the best solution to marketplace and to meet the people. You know, it's a great way. Yes, sir. And Tanner, thanks for coming. The trade show business kind of died the last few years. And really, since 9/11, it had been on a decline. And I'm just hoping that all of a sudden what I experienced today is like a reawakening for trade shows, live trade shows. That's what I'm hoping. I was at the ProMat trade show in Las Vegas over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and that was great. And I was in one even prior to that in Orlando, and then we were still coming out of COVID and all this crazy stuff. It was low attended, and we had a lot of like forward-thinking, aggressive people that were going to show up no matter what, and that was great. But it looks like maybe people, the people that are like in the middle of the curve, not just the early adopters, but the people in the middle of the curve are coming back with furor. And also the businesses, the companies are sending their people. I mean, that's what I saw and felt today this week at the trade show. So that's good. Let's look. How about my next one? What was I doing? Number 2D, going headlong into the final weeks of launching or relaunching 3 websites. It was like one brand new one relaunch. It's probably more than that. I've got another brand new one. Oh, yeah. And reinventing another one. So I've got 3 or 4 websites, but I'm dealing with 2 big digital marketing companies. Okay. One's called AmericanEagle.com. You've seen them here. And the other one's called Thrive. And they're both gazillion $1 million companies, giant digital marketing companies. And a lot of stress for me going in there. Now I'm getting into the final weeks of this prior to launch of one big site and another one and some stuff that's coming up. And very stressful for me. And then dealing with the big company, lots of people involved. I mean, it's not like just if you're a website or digital marketing guy and you do website design and social marketing, social media marketing stuff for clients, and you might be the only person your customer talks to. That's easy. I've done a bunch of that over the years with one person shops kind of things. But I've expanded things over the last few years into larger, bigger groups, because I'm dealing with companies, and I found out that you can deal with large, big groups, and really the price is very close to the same, if not the same. Sometimes it's even less. And what's important is you're getting the value of lots of people. Well, so that's why I'm dealing with these big outfits now instead of mom and pops. However, one-to-one, if you're one of those, I love you. And I know you can bring great value. So I'm not discounting it. So what happened? Well, I learned that these big guys will surprise you. More is happening in the background than I realized to ensure a successful launch and culmination of our efforts, which in, one case has been almost a year for one of them. And not because anybody's running slow. It's just there's a lot of stuff to get done. And I was managing our investment as well to not go over the top. And now it's all starting to happen. But what I was finding out was that these people that I'm dealing with, they're having meetings without me to make sure that they're delivering what I need and what they perceive that I need. And so it's like, yeah, I like it. I appreciate it. And I didn't really understand how much of that was going on until I started seeing things coming together. It's like, wow, didn't know you were doing that. That's cool. Well, they don't have time to tell me every single thing they're doing. I just have to, what am I going to do? My action. What's my action? Well, keep doing what I'm doing in terms of managing closely, working intensely, and just have more faith in what they will accomplish in the end. Probably one of my biggest problems is when I get into a big project and other people and situations are involved, especially ones that I haven't dealt with very much or at all. I manage maybe even too tightly. They'd probably say very tightly. And I don't have the faith that I ought to have in their ability to deliver what it is I have in my mind that I need and want. So I'm going to try to relax a little bit into that. Certainly be easier on me because what I'm getting and what I'm seeing is pretty good. Doesn't mean I'm going to back off making sure that, the checkpoints happen, but I think I can relax more with situations like that. Okay, let's see if we have any more comments. I just want to double check if anybody has any more of these D's and L's and A's that they'd like to share. Please jump in there. Let's look at the third one. Special plastic palette. I'm the plasticpalletguy.com. And I was delivering and demonstrating a new prototype plastic palette to an existing customer and their group. And this was version 2.0. I did one version and we made improvements and talked about it. And then it came back. And then, well, what did I discover on this second round? Well, here's what I learned. I said, when you or me are doing projects with a work group, be sure to understand who is involved and be sure there is someone representing the training and implementation aspects of the project. I mean, it's like I kind of assumed that's the people I was dealing with that were at the meetings and things, that I had a a wide variety of people, but it turned out that I didn't even know that I was missing someone formally in the work group who touches the product every day, is involved in training other people how to do it, and is very keenly involved in the implementation and use of the product on a daily basis, that I was prototyping and showing this particular palette. It was like, oh my gosh. Now I had some managers there that were heads over that department in that area, and they know about it and they do it, but they're not in there day to day. And I want to work with people day to day so that we don't deliver the final product and then have someone that does it every day say, oh my gosh, you missed this or something, something got missed. And that if they had been working with it, testing it, playing with it, and part of the conversations in an open forum, which is what we create, I'd find out in advance, because it's really hard to make a palette, get all fixed up, designed, approved, and out there. And then the final product hits the floor and someone says, wow, we do this here. You missed that entirely. It's like, oh my gosh, you can't have that happen. That's a very expensive mistake. So that's what I'm going to do. And what the action item is going to be, look at this. In the future, I'm going to make sure that I have direct conversations about the makeup of my customers' project work group to be sure we aren't missing someone key to the implementation, daily use, and training. Just make sure I have those direct conversations. That's all. And we recommend that you do the same thing. So here's an interesting thing. Some of this is just about relieving the stress. And one of my sayings is stress is the difference between the goals you set and where you get. Think about that. Stress is the difference between the goals you set and where you get. Well, it looks like I got another comment here. Let's see what we've got. Ron, good one. Good to see you. It's always good when you're here. He says, morning, Jay. Most challenges can be tracked back to a training weakness. Yes. And that's why we need the trainers in the work groups when we're doing a new product. Exactly. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Greg Sneed's here, and he says, hey, Greg, good morning. And it's a happy Friday. Yes, it is. Good to see you. And glad you came. Glad you came today. So, everyone, let's take a look here and see if I went through my 3 examples. If anybody else has an example, just remember there's about a 10-second delay here. So if you start typing something and hit the comment, I may be off the air before I get it. So now's the time. If you're thinking about making a comment or you want to mention something, jump in here so I'll stay on the air because I'm interested in what you have to say. While we're here, remember the silver rule, which is do unto your vendors as you want your customers to do unto you. I don't want to hear you griping about your customers and how they're treating you if you're not treating your vendors well, exactly how you want to be treated. And then the other part is the green rule is do for yourself what you're asking others to pay you to do for them. Now, let's see, what did I have an example of that the other day? Yeah, it was some guy doing marketing and marketing himself to me as someone who promotes pulling things together and helping you do your marketing better and all this. And I said, super, send me your website. Show me what kind of marketing you're doing and help me understand what you do. And the conversation was over because he didn't even have his own website. It's like, oh my gosh, make sure whatever you're doing for yourself matches what you're asking people to pay you to do. And Greg says, always do the right thing. Exactly. Always do the right thing. And that's one of the things when you're in conversations with people and you're starting to talk about what you need to do in a particular situation, and you're suggesting what you know is morally and ethically and everything the right thing to do, and they're struggling over it, that may be like a sign that you have a problem. Anyway, everyone, I appreciate you coming on board. Those of you that are watching the replay and you have some thoughts about your D and your L and your A. And I'm going to go back there so you know what we're talking about. When you're learning from what happened this week, do is what did you do? L is what you learned, and A is what action or future action is going to come as a result of your D and your L. Type them, chat them in there, and I'll get back to you. I'd be happy to talk to you about them, or give me a call. I'm Jay Skinner. This is the Buyers and Sellers Show. Here's how you get in touch with me at THEJAY Skinner.com. That's my website. And I want to tell you, I'm so happy that you came, that you joined us today. And we'll be back again next Friday, same time, same channel, 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Buyers and Sellers Show. You know, we're all buyers and sellers. That's what it's about. And I want to thank you again for coming. Bye now. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Thanks for coming.